looking to become a giant slayer. Take it to game 3. Timberwolves facing the Lakers. There's a look at Anthony Edwards and LeBron James. Fourth quarter game tied at 103. Edwards with the step back 3 over Luka. Gives the Timberwolves a 3-point lead. A minute later, Edwards drives, finds Naz Reid some way, somehow. Who does this? Makes the 3. T-Wolves on a 6-0 run, and they lead by 6. 30 seconds later, Edwards drives past LeBron James, going to work, scores, gets the layup to go. Edwards and the Timberwolves on an 8-1 run. Edwards again. Long 2, gets it to go, hyping up the crowd, feeding off of the energy. Edwards drives, kicks it to Jaden McDaniels, and that'll be the dagger. Edwards scored or assisted on all 13 points of the Timberwolves' 13-1 run to end the game. T-Wolves win at 116-104.
All right, so Q Richardson, David Dennis back with us. By the way, that whole highlight, Q is just shaking his head. Like, that's when you know you're a bad man.
Yeah.
When you could just sit here and be like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Wolves taking care of business. You get a vintage performance, though, from LeBron, and L.A. still loses. What's the root of the issue here, you think, Q, for L.A.?
I mean, obviously yesterday Luka was recovering from a stomach bug or flu or sick, whatever. But like the Lakers have to have 2 of those 3 guys between LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka. They have to show up at the same time. Right now, they've not had 2 of those 3 guys show up and have big nights. It would be great if they could have all 3 of them, like a lot of times during the season. But that's the problem right there. When the Lakers are at their best, at least 2 to 3 of those guys are out there having solid games. And last night, it was LeBron by himself. I mean, Austin Reeves had 20, but it wasn't impactful. It wasn't like up in your face. It didn't move with help winning for them. So they need more than just LeBron stepping up. We understand Luka was, under the flu or whatever with the sickness, but they need another big guy to go out there and get big buckets.
Yeah, and big picture here, the Los Angeles Lakers just squandered a huge LeBron performance, 38-10 in 41 minutes. And going forward, you have a game on Sunday. They're not even getting a full 48 hours of rest before they have to come back and do this all again. And what are you going to get from LeBron and those after, not having that kind of rest? What are you going to get from Luka, who is still dealing with that stomach bug? I don't know how many people recover from a stomach bug in 30 hours. It is about Austin Reeves and him having to show up, because the Minnesota Timberwolves only gained steam at the end of that game while the Lakers were getting gas. And Anthony Edwards seems to have an endless array of energy that is going to carry over till Sunday. So Lakers have to find a reserve to find some way to pull that game out, even though they're going to be gassed.
Yeah,
they wasted a LeBron performance when he was shooting from Yucatan.
Yeah.
Like Ant-Man said.
All the way from Yucatan.
They squandered that. Like,
Last time I checked, that's a long ways away.
Woo.
All right. Well, the Lakers lose, so do the Celtics. Hey, check this out. Second time this season, the Celtics have had more turnovers than assists, and both have come against the Magic. So, David, has Orlando's defense found the key to stopping Boston?
Yeah, they have not found they're not going to stop Boston all the way enough to win the series, but they have the type of defense that, they figured something out. They're showing they work. They may not have the whole answer like my teacher used to tell me, but what they have shown is that they can stop Boston from shooting a ton of threes. The Orlando Magic has always been a team this season that has limited 3-point attempts, and the Celtics only put up 27 threes in Game 3, but really a lot of this is Boston shooting themselves in the foot, especially in that third quarter. They had, shot clock violations. They had a carrying violation. I didn't say the carrying violation like 1995. They found new ways to turn the ball over against this Orlando team. The Celtics just have to shore that up, and they can win that series, because Orlando on the other side of the ball just does not have the offensive firepower to keep up with the Celtics. So the Celtics just need to lock in and focus and be able to win this series, even though the Magic are just an irritating defense for them to play against.
Yeah, let me lead with this. I have the Celtics winning this series, right? I don't want that to be misconstrued, what I'm about to say. But if you do your research and look the last 2 to 3 years, Magic ain't played with Boston. They gave them problems all the time. Since Jamal Mosey has got there, he has our identity as being defense. And we go out there and play defense no matter who is available. But the biggest problem we have this year, no Mo Wagner, no Jalen Suggs when it really counts. And we know about how much time Paolo and Franz miss. But what we're seeing right now is the Magic ain't to be played with. When they get to their full complement next year, I expect them to really be good and really be competing. Now, this year, it's kind of like what it is because of the injuries, and I still have the Celtics winning, but this isn't a misnomer. If you go do your research, they gave them problems. The Celtics, this Magic team gave the Celtics problems in the previous few years because of the way they play defense.
Yeah, in some ways, it's almost like they're building a younger version of the Celtics.
Yeah.
So they're on the come up. By the way, Boston hasn't lost consecutive games since late February. And by the way, our coordinating producer, Epi, just told me Yucatan, that comment from Anthony Edwards, there's a Yucatan, Minnesota. So it's not that far, I guess, from where LeBron was.
Okay.
You know? Come on. LeBron was doing otherworldly things, Epi. Don't take us out of that. Thanks,
all right, let's go over to
set for Saturday. How about this? The Cavs take their 2-0 lead to Miami with a 17-0 record when winning the first 2 games in a series. Cleveland went off from deep in Game 2, draining 22 threes, including a record 11 in the second quarter. Now, how about the Thunder? They could become the first team to clinch a series with a win in Memphis, which would seal the sweep. OKC pulled off one of the best comebacks in playoff history in Game 3, coming back from 26 down at the half. And then the Clippers, they're going to try to take full control of the series after blowing the doors off Denver in the first playoff game at the Intuit Dome. Worth noting that LA has a losing record when leading 2-1 in a series. And the nightcap, Bay Area, Rockets, Warriors square off in a pivotal Game 3. All eyes are going to be on Jimmy Butler, who left Game 2 and is listed as questionable for tonight. Here's Malika Andrews, Chiney Ogwumike, and Kendrick Perkins with more on tonight's games.
4 NBA playoff games today, and we're here to get you set for all of them. Let's start with the Cavaliers and Heat, OKC and Grizzlies, the number 1 seeds that are in action here. Do we think that any of the 1 seeds, talking about OKC and talking about the Cavaliers here, are they going to lose today?
Well, the Memphis Grizzlies are dead bird tall grass. OKC is going to end that.
This is crazy.
Yeah, but OKC is going to end that.
Okay.
No Ja Morant. Grizzlies had their chance.
They had their chance.
They folded,
built up a huge lead.
They folded like lawn chairs. Now, on the other hand, I never underestimate Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat.
Sure.
Right? Like, those games have been competitive, especially Game 2. I think, going down to Miami, Eric Spoelstra is going to have those guys ready to play. I think Miami gets Game 3.
So a gentleman's sweep. Even though I feel a little bit confident that, like, what we saw from Donovan Mitchell in the fourth quarter, when he is capable of stepping up, he can take over.
Yeah, that brings us to our third game of the day, the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets here. This is something that we thought could go the distance. The Nuggets...
Who thought that?
All of us. I thought this would be a long series. I really did. You didn't. It seemed to me that the Denver Nuggets being in the building and Intuit Dome for that Game 3, it seemed like the Nuggets just look like they've run out of gas a little bit.
No, they tapped out. The Clippers made the Nuggets tapped out. Think about what the Denver Nuggets been going through, right? Losing their head coach and who they won the championship with. Aaron Gordon Jr. dealing with a calf injury, right? Michael Porter Jr. dealing with a banged-up shoulder. And all of a sudden, you have Kawhi Leonard Jordan, the best player in the postseason right now. Seriously. Big Zubac doing his thing. James Harden took over. Look, this Clippers team is for real. And the Nuggets know that if they're not fully healthy 100%, they stand no chance.
You know what? You gave me a cause for pause when you said Kawhi Leonard Jordan being the best player in the postseason. I started thinking about the different teams and the different players. He probably is playing the most meaningful basketball for his team right now to get a win. And so, yeah, I still think that the Nuggets are going to be able to rebound. Y'all saw Jokic on the sideline. He rarely shows emotion. I think this means something to him. But still, I have the Clippers walking out of that series.
The sense being around the Denver Nuggets is we need a 40-point triple-double from Nikola Jokic. And that is a tall task, but
if anyone can do it.
It's someone who averaged a triple-double. You can't put it past him. All right, then we get to the sort of main course of the day. 8:30 Eastern, we have the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler's status is up in the air for this one. Shanae, what are you going to be watching?
So I was there for Game 1. Unfortunately, they lost. Hakeem Olajuwon was there for Game 2. They won, so he's the good luck charm.
Houston,
But for Houston. But when I think about these two teams, it's all about two. They've had to have 2 star players in order to pull out wins. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, sensational Game 1. Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green emerging, really answering the bell after having a tough Game 1. 38 points, 8 threes. They're going to have to bring their shot onto the road.
This is going to be a series that's won in the trenches, a game that's won in the trenches. So I'm looking at Draymond Green. He guaranteed that we're going to win the championship. I need him to be great against baby Jokic, Alperen Sengun, one-on-one, not asking for a double team in Game 3, have a serious impact, help Steph Curry and the Warriors try to get that win.
We'll get you set for that one on ABC. See you then. How about a look at Pacers Bucks from yesterday? Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers visiting Giannis and the Bucks for Game 3, and this would be the Gary Trent Jr. game, actually. Third quarter, Bucks down by 10. Gary Trent Jr. knocks down the three in the corner, and this is where he really heats up. Giannis kicks it to Trent, drills another three, cuts the Pacers lead to 4. Later on in the third, Halliburton with the turnover. Giannis gets to steal, and guess who comes up with it? I told you guys, this is the Gary Trent Jr. game. Game all tied up at 62 apiece. Extra pass to Trent in the corner. Ooh. Buries the three, puts the Bucks up by 3. Under 2 minutes to play in the third, Giannis finds Bobby Portis, who swings it to Trent, and he does that on the wing. 18 points for Trent in the third quarter. The Pacers only scored 18 points total. Bucks lead 86-75 heading into the fourth quarter. Giannis on the attack, finishes with the reverse. Nice move by Giannis right there. Bucks up by 12. Giannis kicks it out to Trent. Who does this? Nails the three, on fire with 34 points. Next Bucks possession. Giannis making his way through. Gets in the lane for the and one. 37 points and 12 rebounds for the Greek Freak. Trent rises up, knocks it down. Ooh. Come on. Right over Halliburton, 37 points, 9 of 12 from beyond the arc, and the Bucks go on to win 117-101 and now trail the Pacers